Thank you for joining us. Welcome to LumioseStation.
Hello LumioseStation and welcome back to another episode of Pokémon DataDex with me, TheOneIntegral. Today we're looking at the ever strangely popular, or strangely not popular, Shuckle, who is also the favourite Pokémon of Mrs. XR, another Lumiose conductor, so that's that pretty much. Shuckle, as you know, it's not amazing competitive, but it does have its little traits that can be used, if used well, can be used quite well. Anyway, before we begin today's episode, please remember, as usual, suggest some more Pokemon for me to look at in future episodes in the comment section below, and I'll look at them and I'll choose, a Pokemon to do from there. So guys, let's just get this straight on. So, first up we have, obviously it's Shuckle. It's the mould Pokemon and is a bug rock type. It was introduced in the second generation, being number 213 in the National Pokédex, and is also featured in the Mountain Kalos Pokédex as number 14. It is 2 foot tall, or 0.6 meters tall, and weighs 45.2 pounds or 20.5 kilograms. It's in the bug group for breeding, as it is, a bug type, and it's also half and half male, female, gender ratio. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Evolution chain, it doesn't evolve at all, doesn't evolve from anything, doesn't evolve into anything, so there's nothing really to look at there. It's just on its own pretty much. Then if we take a look at its base stats, which are some of the weirdest base stats in the whole of the Pokemon franchise in my opinion, they are so maximum minimum sort of thing. They're highs and lows, whereas other Pokemon have spread. Shuckle is just like, I'm going to maximise this and minimise everything else. Health points it has 20, attack it has 10, defense it has 230, special attack it has 10, special defense also has 230, and speed has 5. So you can tell it's a very, very, very bulky Pokemon. It can take a lot of hits if used in the right manner. But you can also tell that it's not very fast at all, with only 5 speed, or one of the slowest in the whole of the Pokemon game. And it also has very low attack and special attack, which means you're not going to do much damage with this at all. Health points is also pretty low too, but that's backed up by the high defenses there, so it's not too much of a worry. First up, we've looked at the Pokemon typing and such for Shuckle. This is the only bit that really lets it down, to be honest, because it only resists 2 types, being normal and poison, and is weak to water, rock, and steel types. And it takes neutral from everything else, mainly because its types cancel out, like, obviously, fire cancels out with the bug, and the rock cancels out for fire. It would be resisting flying because of the rock type, but then it's weak to it because of the bug type. And really just all equals out like that, which really sucks for Shuckle, because it has a common weaknesses, water, rock and steel. Water type moves are really common, especially Aqua Jet being priority move. Rock slide you got Stone Edge, which is not good at all. And then steel type moves you got Flash Cannon, other stuff like that. So it is really quite common in the meta game, to be honest, so it's really not great for Shuckle here, but we'll just have to deal with it really. It has 3 abilities available for you to use, the first one being Sturdy, meaning it cannot be knocked out with 1 hit. This ability, while not being brilliant, is one of its better ones really, to be honest, because obviously no Pokemon is going to be able to take out Shuckle without a lot of stat boosts, or stat reductions on Shuckle's part. So Sturdy could actually be quite helpful. Say they're setting up, just going Swords Dance, whatever, trying to take you out in 1 hit because you have leftovers, or you have rest, or you have whatever, to heal your health points up. Then they might be setting up, and obviously if you got full health points and they went for the critical hit or whatever, they went for critical hit, maximum attack, whatever, and lowered your defense or something like that. And obviously if you had full health points, you would get out of 1, so you get that extra turn, which could be helpful. And arguably this is better than Shuckle's other ability, or other main ability, which is Gluttony, which makes the Pokemon use a held berry earlier than usual. This means instead of eating it at 25% health, it's going to eat it at 50% health. This can sort of be helpful, but really a citrus berry on a Shuckle isn't too common, so yeah, that's really it. It's not, obviously other berries can be used, but citrus is the only thing we're looking at for health points wise, and really you don't be boosting Shuckle's attack really, do you? Because that would be a bit pointless. Its hidden ability, which is quite interesting, is Contrary, which makes stat changes have an opposite effect. What this means is, say I used, Shuckle can't even learn Swords Dance, but say it use Swords Dance, instead of getting 2 attack boost, it would get 2 attack reduction. So it's exactly the opposite. So Malamar also has this ability, as well as I think 1 or 2 other Pokemon, I'm not quite sure, don't hold me to that, but it is a really interesting ability, and it actually works quite well with one of the Shuckle sets. When I say quite well, I mean quite well in terms of Shuckle, not necessarily quite well in terms of the whole of the metagame. So if we quickly look at its highlighted moves here, starting at level 5 we have Encore, which is a normal type move, and if you don't know, Encore basically locks the opponent into whatever attack they used last. So say they used Rest last and you went Encore, then they have to keep using Rest for I think it's 5 turns, so this can be useful if you can trap them in a certain move. Then the next move, I guess, is Rest at level 20, and obviously you all know what Rest does. You go to sleep, get maximum health points, and that's that. Then level 31 it learns Power Trick, which is a very interesting move indeed. Now the thing with Power Trick is it actually modifies your attack and your defense stats, which is actually quite good because as we discovered, as we sort of, looked at already, Shuckle has a really high defense stat and a really low attack stat. So Power Trick will actually switch your defense with your attack. So this could be good because then you get like 230 attack. And defense is obviously then terrible, which means it isn't brilliant at all, but if you use it at the right time with the right sort of moves set up and whatever, it can really work wonders, as we'll talk about more in the obviously the Wi-Fi setups later on. Then level 34 it learns Shell Smash. Now Shell Smash usually reduces your defense, your special defense and your speed. Oh no wait, sorry, that's my fault. It usually reduces your defense and your special defense by 1 stage, and it increases your attack, your special attack, and your speed by 2 stages. However, if you use it with a contrary Shuckle, it means you're going to get boosted in defense and lowers in attack, which aren't even, we don't even care about the attack because we're slow anyway. We're not going to use attacking moves. As you can see, there's only actually one attacking move on this set, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. Then TM06 is Toxic. This is brilliant because for Shuckle all you really want to do is stall out. So obviously if you can get the Toxic off on the opponent, that means you can just, as long as you last while they die from the Toxic, you'll be good. Then TM17 is Protect. And this basically, you guys know what Protect is. It protects you from a move, which can be good, especially with the stalling setup, just to get that extra turn in. Can help you, regain health points with the leftovers. Stuff like that basically. Then TM37 is Sandstorm. This can be quite good again if you're using a stalling set because obviously toxic damage and sandstorm damage works pretty well. You're getting a lot of damage off there while you obviously are not affected by sandstorm because you're a rock type. Then TM83, a new move introduced in Generation 6 is Infestation. Now Infestation is a special move and it does minimal damage, but the thing it actually does is it traps the opponent. It's basically like a wrap. It traps the opponent and does damage each turn, which is good because as I've explained, we've got a stalling set here with Shuckle, which means obviously all you want to do is stall out. So if you can trap your opponent in there, get a Toxic off, get the Sandstorm up, they're going to be taking damage from Infestation, damage from Toxic, and damage from Sandstorm all at once. And all they'll be able to do is basically restore their health or attack you because they won't be able to switch out until Infestation wears off. It can also learn 2 support moves, the first of these being Sticky Well, which you can learn through Heart Scale, because it learns at like level 1, which can be good with a support setup for Shuckle, and it can also learn Stealth Rock. However, this is transfer only, which really sucks. So obviously, if you want to have a Stealth Rock on your Shuckle, you're going to have to transfer it from Generation 5 first. Okay, so from now we'll move on to the Wi-Fi setups for Shuckle. I have 3 here, and they're varied in, obviously what they do, how we use them, stuff like that. So the first one I've got here is actually Mrs. XR setup she uses on her Shuckle. She did say to me it hasn't worked too well, but with the right sort of changes maybe, or the right usage, the right setup in battle, it could work quite well. So she's got Infestation, Toxic, Rest, and Power Split as the moves. Her ability is Sturdy because, as we mentioned, Gluttony is only good if you're holding Berry, obviously, and Contrary isn't necessarily brilliant because if they went to, maybe reduce, they could do something. I suppose if they tried to reduce your defense and you had Contrary, it would increase defense, which could be good. But then again, as I mentioned earlier, Sturdy could be good if they're trying to set up. Because obviously, if you're Infestation trapping them, all they can do is try and set up and kill you, so that's it. So Sturdy could be good in the long run, I don't know. Nature can be Bold or Impish, just depending on what defense you want to boost, really. Whether you want to make a physically defensive Shuckle or a special defensive one. Obviously, there's not going to be a huge difference. Just one's going to take mainly physical hits rather, and one's going to be able to take special hits. The held item here is Leftovers or Binding Band. Leftovers because it gets you the extra health points coming back, but Binding Band, I think, if I remember rightly, actually keeps the Infestation going for a bit longer, which can actually be really helpful because, it basically just keeps them in the battle for a bit longer, which is just good because, well, why would you not want to get, why would you not want to do that, yeah? Basically, yeah, as just looking at the page here, Infestation, if you're using a binding band, the damage done at the end of each turn will increase from 1/8 to 1/6 of the maximum health points. Sorry, so it doesn't increase the time, it increases the damage done, which is good because you're just trying to stall them out. So obviously if it's doing 1/6 of the total damage, that means in 6 turns they're going to be dead. Combine that with a Toxic, combine that with a Sandstorm, they will be gone very quickly indeed, as long as you can survive. So, then, going back to more stuff on the setup here, EVs you have maximum defense and special defense and just the rest in health points. Because we're not using attacking here, the only attack we're using is Infestation, so you could put special attack up, but it's not going to do much at all. The Infestation is only just to get the trapping and the turnly damage in. So basically, as I mentioned already, how to use this set, you come in, you Infestation trap them. Obviously you might want to, obviously they're faster, so they're going to be able to, obviously they can switch out or they can try and take you out in one, so you really need to be careful with your switches here. You want to be able to trap a Pokemon that's not going to do too well, maybe a Pokemon that's locked in Outrage, or maybe a Pokemon that's just, stuck in there, maybe it's, I don't know, asleep, something like that. Obviously they could switch out a Pokemon that's asleep, but, we'll have to see. Or you can go for the Infestation trap, and you could even just switch out to one of your other team members and then use that to take them out. So you have a Greninja hanging in the back and they sent out a Swampert to deal with you because of the water type attacks. You could go for the Infestation as they switch in, then you could just switch out to your Greninja, they might go for a water type attack, not going to do anything to you, then you can hit back with a Grass Knot and that'll be Swampert gone, which is, another good way to use this setup. Alternatively, you can just try and stay in and stall them out. So we also have Toxic here. Rest is there to obviously restore your health points if needed. Combined with Leftovers, you're going to be pretty hard to take out, to be honest, unless they time their moves well. And then the Power Split can be used if you ever want to actually get get the Infestation off and maybe get a bit more damage there, but really that's up to you. You could switch out Power Split for Sandstorm, you could switch out for something else, like other moves we looked at, Encore maybe, if you could, something like that, Protect maybe, just to last a turn extra if you need to take them out, anything like that. Or you can even add a support move in there, or something like that if you're running this Shuckle as a lead. I don't know if you would run Shuckle lead or not, but you could use it as a hazard set, who knows. So really, as I mentioned, good way to use this is just get in, Infestation, trap them, and then try and stall them out, or just switch out to someone that can take them out, which works quite well, to be honest. The second setup is one I actually use myself, it's on my Shuckle, which is Shell Smash, Toxic, Rest, and Protect. The ability this time is Contrary, obviously working with the Shell Smash there. Nature again is Bold or Impish. Held item I've put as Leftovers or Rocky Helmet, I'll explain more about that in a second. And then EVs again is Defense, Special Defense, Health Points. So first time rather, this is a Shell Smashing setup with Contrary, meaning you're going to be increasing your defense each time you use Shell Smash? I don't know. I can't speak. Shell Smash, that's better. Okay, so the idea for this might be you go in and then they might switch out their Pokemon. Say you go in against a Pokemon that's not going to have anything against Shuckle, they will probably switch out, so you can go for a free Shell Smash there and get your defenses up slightly. Then you could try and hit a Toxic off on the second turn to try and poison whatever comes in. Then you can go for a Protect, then you can keep Protect, Shell Smash, whatever, until you get down to low health. Then you can go for a Rest, and then assuming you've Shell Smashed enough, you might be able to survive a few attacks before you can rest again, and just hope the Toxic takes them out by then, really. If you're carrying Leftovers, as I put on the held item there, obviously Leftovers are going to be some good health restoration in the background while using Protect or anything like that. Or you can alternatively have a Rocky Helmet. Now what that will do is it will completely wall a physical attacker, because they'll come in, they might decide they're going to Mark Punch you or something. That's going to do them damage, so they're going to be doing not much damage to you, and you're going to be doing some decent damage to them with a Rocky Helmet, so it works quite well. Nature and EVs, I don't have to say anything here again because it's all just about defenses, really. And the final setup for today is basically a support setup. The moves here are Stealth Rock, Sticky Web, Toxic and Encore, and then the ability is Sturdy this time, Nature being Bold or Impish, held item being Leftovers, and the EVs again being defenses and health points. So what you want to use here is obviously you've got the Stealth Rock and the Sticky Web for the support moves, so you could use this as a lead. You could go out, set up some Sticky Webs, set up some Stealth Rocks, then go for the Toxic, maybe try and lock them into an Encore, depending on what move they use. Say they go for the Swords Dance first turn, you can just go for the Encore, lock them into that while you just set up your Toxic, other stuff. Obviously once the Rocks and the Web were up, and the Toxic's off, you can't really do anything with this set. You haven't got Protect to stall out, you haven't got Rest to help you get some nice health points up. You've got Leftovers, but that's only going to do so much, especially if they're setting it with Swords Dance. So then best thing to do maybe is just to switch out to someone who can take them. Then say they have a rapid spinner on the team, they come in, they spin the webs and the rocks out. You can then send your Shuckle in there later on. If it's still got pretty high health points, you can obviously take some hits, set those hazards up again, and eventually obviously once their rapid spinner is gone, you could then try and, if the Shuckle survives until then, you could bring the Shuckle back in again, set the hazards up, and they'll just have to deal with it for the rest of the battle. And that's really all this set is about, just, setting up the hazards, doing a bit of toxic, using Encore just to try and, allow yourself a bit more time to do this, and stuff like that. That's really all there is for Shuckle, to be honest. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Pokemon DataDex. If you did, be sure to leave a like down below, and don't forget to check out all the other awesome content on LumioseStation. We've got some great stuff coming soon, new conductors coming in, all the stuff like that, and you can also check out my channel. There'll be a link in the description below. I do videos similar to this and other things as well, so be sure to check me out guys. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video, I'll be seeing you next time, goodbye my friends.